Penuel the Black Pen. I consult with people online almost every day. Normally, people book a 30-minute slot, but some do an hour slot, and I charge for my time. If you want to consult with me, of course, you can DM me on my Instagram, you can DM me on my Twitter, you can send me an email, godpenwell@gmail.com. I'm going to put my Instagram, my Twitter addresses as links in the description, but I'm also going to put my email address as well. I'm raising this because, look, I consult people on a number of issues, various issues, politics, personal finance, family issues, people struggling with access to their children, women that want advice on maintenance. Some people are worried about medical issues, and for today's video, I want to speak about the medical issues in particular. First and foremost, the reason I have a wide range of subjects is because I'm a normal human being, number one. I'm not a robot that's stuck in one box. Number two, I'd like to think I'm dynamic. And yes, there's something to be said about being a jack of all trades and a master of none. But I'm one of those people who believes in learning as many things as possible that affect real life. And then over time, because life is long, going as deep as possible on each of the subjects, whether it is politics, economics, personal finance, it could be family politics, it could be something like medicine, engineering, law, technology, as an example, the female reproductive system, the human anatomy. I'm constantly learning and getting better and having a deeper knowledge of almost everything. That kind of allows me to speak about almost anything up to a certain level. So if someone is a specialist in medicine, they might have 15, 20 years of knowledge. Over time, I've maybe accumulated 2-3 years. So if me and that person have a conversation, I can speak as a person with 2-3 years of knowledge, and they have 20 years. So they're more knowledgeable than me, but we can have a conversation. And I hope this comes out in some of the platforms that I have where I have conversations and interviews with people that I have a lot of knowledge. I pride myself on it, and it's something I'm constantly working on. Medicine falls under science. There's a lady I consulted with today, and she was speaking to me about gynecology because she spoke about contraceptives and a post I've made before about the dangers of contraceptives and how some contraceptives are leading to infertility. I've spoken before about C-sections versus NVD, natural vaginal birth, natural vaginal delivery, NVD versus C-section, and some of the risks associated with each, etc., etc. Some silly women will say things like, but you're not a woman, why would you speak about women's issues? It's because this stuff is medicine, it's there, it can be studied and you can know it. There are a majority of male gynecologists. The guy doesn't have a vagina, he's never given birth, but he has the know-how. Similarly, I can study this stuff. A lot of the knowledge you'll find in the med school, etc., stuff you can find on the internet. You can verify it, you can vet it, you can go and speak to doctors, general practitioners, you can go and speak to certain specialists, gynecologists, an obstetrician for the male reproductive system, a urologist as an example. You can speak to these people and have conversations with them and let them tell you their experiences and what they've learned or what they know so that you can increase your knowledge base. This lady tells me about a certain gynecologist who was warning them about different contraceptives and the side effects. The injections, some of the ladies may know, been linked to things like blood clots and heavy infertility. Then there's the implant, of which I don't think there's enough research, but people have started. It's a surgical procedure. Of course, there's the patch, which I think is so dodgy. How can having like a plaster on your body prevent pregnancy? What side effects can you get there? Then there's the pill that everyone knows, which arguably is the safest of the contraceptives, but you miss one day, boom, could be pregnant. And then there's the loop, which is almost foolproof, but people have fallen pregnant with the loop. And there's a huge danger with the loop that is not being discussed. So that was the one part. And the conversation I said with this lady was, I appreciate your gynecologist being able to have these conversations with you. What frustrates me is when people like myself, an ordinary human being, goes on social media and I raise some of these concerns and issues, and then other doctors and other specialists out there catch feelings. Why are you catching feelings under a branch of science? Science in its makeup is about challenging what's out there and coming with evidence, of course, stats, experiments, etc. but you should be open to the conversation. And it can't just be that you're a qualified scientist, you're a qualified doctor to be able to have this conversation. That's the first part, that you should be comfortable with people raising these things. And as a medical doctor, you should say, listen, thank you for raising this. Something that's been brought up, I've maybe seen some of the articles. If I haven't, please send me some of the links. Let me read them. Maybe there's something you misunderstood, or maybe there's something in the science that I do not know, so that I can also equip myself and be able to also teach my patients and train my patients and help them have a better healthcare lifestyle. But these people get angry and aggro on social media, and they're like, are you a doctor? Where did you study? That's kind of like infantile thinking. Because like I said, it's science and it's stuff you can find out there. These people that have studied their MBCHB weren't born with it. It's something they learned, normally from textbooks delivered by lecturers who also learned from a textbook, and it's come from many people before them. So this is a plea to all professionals, not just medical, engineers, lawyers, judges, someone who's a politician, someone who's an economist, someone who's in banking, someone who's in insurance, etc. Be open-minded, because your industries were created by human beings, and this information and intel can be found online. It is not hidden in some university where you studied it and no one else has access to the secret scrolls. We have access to that information. Let's engage. Teach us if you know better. Allow us to teach you if there's certain things that we may know better. The second thing is this, and this is important for science. Science has been progressive over the years. What does that mean? It means if you are a doctor in 2023, that means we are supposedly living in best practice from when, I think it's Hippocrates, the Hippocrates Oath. I stand corrected. I think it's a Greek person who's credited as the father of medicine. It's probably not him. It's probably some African. We know this. But anyways, from back then, medicine has become like a field. Up to now, many people have experimented, have tried different surgeries, have tried different medicines. They've seen the side effects. They've improved on the medicines. And so where we are today is literally the latest version of all of that work and all those experiments and all of those innovations and all of that progress. When you are in a field, it is not enough, especially a field of science. It is not enough to just pass through it like a toll gate or a highway. You almost have an obligation to say, this is where the science got us to today. Now that I'm here and I've accumulated all of this knowledge, I need to be an activist, and I need to take the baton from the people that came before me, and I need to push the science further. And that means asking certain uncomfortable questions about certain medicines, about certain practices. Why is a pregnant woman giving birth on her back when gravity says she should be squatting and the baby should be coming down vertically? Why is she lying horizontally? That's uncomfortable to be pushing out a baby. You shouldn't be pushing out. Gravity should be helping you. Let's have that conversation. Certain medicines and their side effects. What are the more natural remedies and herbs? And even when you speak natural remedies and herbs, not all natural remedies and herbs are healthy. There are certain herbs, foods, fruits, vegetables we don't eat because they'll make us sick. So you can't just say something that grows in the ground, something that is a leaf that has been dried out, has been burnt and gets burnt and set alight. Just because it grows naturally means it's healthy. No, you could be eating a weed. You could be eating poison. But that becomes a conversation, and you must be an activist and say, I'm so blessed. I'm an African doctor, and we are in this space where we are speaking organic, herbal, and we're speaking with Izangoma, and we're speaking with Izinyanga. How can I, as a doctor, taking from the people that came before me, say, let me be an activist, let me speak to Izinyanga, let me study traditional medicines and herbs, and let me take medicine to the next level. And not just from a capitalist, let's make money perspective. Because if you have that mindset, it means you will always want people to be sick, because then you can prescribe medicine to them and they always need to come and consult with you. You need to be an activist in the field that you're in so that you can push the science forward. And you need to be open-minded. Same with fields like engineering. If you're an engineer, you should be willing to study animals. You should be willing to listen to normal human beings. You should be willing to listen to children who are like, why doesn't that thing sit like that? Why doesn't this sit like this? You watch, for example, how a duck paddles and you're like, can we make a better boat or yacht that uses the same technology? Watch how a bird flies and say, why is this bird flying like this? Maybe we can create a technology like that. Look at bridges that ants build. Look at how children play and be like, can we build this into engineering and advance the field forward? The same with law. Law is in black and white, gets interpreted in various ways. But how can you as a lawyer knowing that we had our African legal systems, bring in those systems and say, listen, let's not go top down, Roman Dutch law. Let's go bottom up, where we say what is best for the family and for the community. And then let's move that up. And when we interpret the law in a court, say, I would like to challenge this law because I do not think it serves a child, a mother, a father, a grandfather, a grandmother, these old people, this community here, because it is not in line with how they live in their community. And let's be considerate and let's advance it forward. This is for all of you. This is for all of you. And if you're in a privileged space to teach people, to educate people about certain things, be open-minded and give them great service. We bash the African National Congress government every single day, but some of the problems we have are you guys that are sitting in certain departments, in certain private companies, at certain desks as receptionists, in certain spaces where you need to send reports, you need to respond to emails, and you guys are lazy. You're on long coffee breaks, you're on long smoke breaks, you bunk work early because you want to go shopping, and you're not committed to the work you're doing. And if each and every one of us commits ourselves to do a better job, we can all build a better country. You have a brick that you are laying in the work that you're doing. And if all of us lay a better brick, we can build a strong foundation for our nation, and we can build a strong building and house for the country and continent and world that we are trying to create and build for future generations. Penuel the Black Pen. Cheers.